Hey guys, Jay with Douchebag Brigade. I'm going through the treehouse. I did recently upload my thoughts on everything. It's my two gripes about Shin Megami Tensei 5 video. You can catch that while I'm driving home from work. But more importantly, I'm sitting here watching the treehouse for my second time here. I can't pretend this is the first time. I've obviously watched it, and I have to say, everything looks amazing. The world looks amazing. The character, outside of being a little bit uh, ambiguous, looks amazing. Really, the gameplay looks awesome. Everything looks great. You know, the worst part about this Treehouse video is you're obviously watching people who have never played a Shin Megami Tensei game, uh, or like or at least a mainline. No, I don't even think these people have played Persona of any kind. These guys don't know what they're doing. They've never really played a game. You can tell they can't demon negotiate. They certainly don't know about anything with the weaknesses and the weaknesses. I mean, they figure it out as we go, but it's kind of like, come on, guys. This is like for people who are hardcore into this game. We've been playing this series since at least since Press Turn came out with the first American release with Nocturne. So you guys should understand it a little better. But so anyway, other than bashing people who are just doing their job, which I'm not going to keep doing, um, the game looks awesome. Everything looks pretty incredible. I really couldn't have asked for anything more than this, and I love the idea that I have absolutely no problem with random encounters. However, I have to say I really love that there are figures on the field, and it was a cool twist in SMT 4 and 5 where we had those, the more generic things flying at you and attacking you and all that stuff, but and it was a mystery. I also enjoyed how Strange Journey had it was a mystery until you analyzed their data, but this is much better. You see what you're actually getting into a fight with on the map, which you guys will see here in a minute. I mean, it's really cool looking, and I don't see how this game could do bad. Honestly, this game is so unbelievable looking, and the gameplay is so awesome. If you're a JRPG fan of any kind, I don't see what else do you turn to. The gameplay is sick. The demon designs are awesome, and everything looks beautiful. The 3D models look beautiful. I mean, this is a really, really great looking game, and it's running well on Switch. So anyone who was, it is confusing that they could barely run Nocturne HD well on Switch, and yet that's a PS2 game. But maybe it's the transference of some of the hardware from PS2 to Switch that made it so difficult. I mean, I have it on PS4, so I haven't noticed any issues. But regardless of that, I'm really feeling confident. This game looks great, and I haven't seen much. I mean, there's like tiny bitty slowdowns you might notice while watching this, but it's very slight, very very slight. And everything looks really cool. I love the way that they chase you on the field. I love the way that that's essentially how you get into random encounters. I mean, everything about this game is literally what we've been waiting for. Now, obviously, I would have loved it if it came out a little bit sooner after its first trailer, but it looks like they've put a lot of time and energy into creating a great game. I'm extremely excited to play this. I mean, and not just from the time that it's taken to make, though that's also built the desire for it. But honestly, I don't want this any more than I wanted it when it was first announced. I wanted the same amount, which is more than any other game. I literally bought a Switch in, I believe, 2017 for this game. So the fact that I did this, and it lets you know that I'm really looking forward to it. Now, I've heard some people knock that the UI has a little bit of Tokyo Mirage Sessions UI to it, but I mean, well, one, who cares? Because that's literally just the terminology for like attacks and weaknesses, but they're not using the stupid style of press turn they had in Tokyo Mirage Sessions, which, to be honest with you, is kind of what turned me off the game in its entirety. Was the style. Now, at first I thought, wow, this is really cool, but as soon as I found out that you automatically would do a follow up that would negatively impact you because they're resistant or they're reflective or nullify the attack, I was a little bit like, well, then what's the point in that third follow-up? But I mean, Tokyo Mirage Sessions is certainly a fun JRPG, but it's not it. I think if you had never played an SMT game before, Tokyo Mirage Sessions can just be seen as a standalone fun game. And I was like 5 hours in, and just I don't know, I just completely lost interest. And I think it's because I've been very spoiled with Nocturne, Strange Journey, the original SMT games, and all of its spin-offs, Majin 10. Like I've played so much SMT that when something is barely SMT, I just lose interest. I think I was looking for more of a Majin Tensei or Devil Survivor game when I played Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and instead I got just a generic turn-based RPG that I don't know. It was just not. It just wasn't my kind of thing. I like Fire Emblem a lot, so it's not about the crossover. It's about what were the parts that were taken from each game was not what I wanted. We didn't get the strategy element of Fire Emblem, and we didn't really get the demon press turn system mixture from Shin Megami Tensei. If anything, it felt more like Persona Cross Fire Emblem, but it didn't even feel like that. It felt like Persona Cross Fire Emblem characters. Um, so overall, that was disappointing. But who cares about that? Point is, it's just the UI. So if certain words are update or weakness is usually is taken and switched over here, I mean, who cares? This game looks awesome. This game is the real press turn, real deal, fusion, demon fusion. Everything looks incredible. I like that they got rid of the smirk system because I was never really a big fan of the smirk system. I felt that, though it did add a layer and was interesting and a layer of strategy, it also made certain things a little too easy, and it also, and in retrospect, I guess it also made things kind of too hard on the other side. So it depends how you look at it. But I'll be okay without the smirk system, and I kind of I'm interested in this Magatsuhi system that they have for, a special skill that certain demons have, and I'm wondering if it's every demon has it, if it's only specific demons that have it, and how it works with your main character. Also, how your main character learns skills is going to be an interesting thing. I don't see the whisper system at all in any of these playthroughs, so I don't think it has to do with that. But I am interested to see how he does learn it, if it's unlockable through some kind of Magatama style. Obviously, it won't be the Magatama, but something similar to that. I also don't think that this is a sequel to Nocturne. A lot of people have suggested that maybe it is. Um, and I mean, I guess you could say maybe the guy that came down, even though it doesn't really look like it, could have been the Demi Fiend, grew his hair out, got some armor and whatever. I mean, I guess you could logically make that comparison because it's been so many years since the Demi Fiend was in high school. But I just maybe his hair grew out, but I don't go with that. I would say that this is more likely based on what we're seeing with law alignment being so heavily gravitated toward. I could see this having more loose connections to Shin Megami Tensei 2, considering it's the first time we've seen law be pushed really since that game. The law side of things really isn't often suggested as the way to go in SMT games, except for, I mean, in every SMT game they've kind of pushed to neutral, though a lot of people love doing the chaos routes. But the lawful route does seem like the main choice to go to, or what the game intended when it comes to Shin with the SMT2. So I'm going to assume that SMT5 might have a loose connection because it kind of seems like we're going toward that path in SMT5, but no no promises, and it's just my theory, or maybe my thoughts without knowing too much about this game yet. Um, it just seems like it's very possible that that's what's going on here. Um, but outside of that, I mean, this game just looks sick. I love that the heavy hitters on the field are huge, monstrous, the size of like a building. I love that these guys, for some reason, thought they could fight a level 48, as you'll see later. They thought they could fight a level 48 demon when they're level 8, I think, or 10, and it is a huge obvious boss, or like either boss or something that's blocking your path from moving forward style character. And I'll end up fast forwarding some of this just so you can see it. I mean, this was certainly interesting and fun to watch people who are new to the series play, because they did figure out how to play the game, how to recruit, and all that. And that was interesting to see. But you could definitely tell these are not people who've played a ton of Megaton games. And either way, this was a great breakdown of the game, though. Everything, I love the actions that these demons take. I mean, it, it it's so nice to see these animations. They're really nice. And Nocturne had great animations. DX2 has great animations, but this really has some beautiful animations. And after getting 2D games after Nocturne, it's a nice change of pace for us to have some fluid 3D animations, because this is really the progression in what the games, when you think about it, the progression of mainline SMT should have always been under this 3D moniker. I don't know why we went back to 2D other than the fact that these systems were made on handhelds. The games were made on handheld systems. So I suppose that would be the reason why. And doesn't mean that I wasn't into those games. I love those games. But this is really the kind of progression we should have seen as we were going with 3D. And so this is an exciting thing. And I love the background and the UI as far as the backgrounds go. They stick very true to where you actually get into the fights. I mean, they have different areas where you see the buildings in the background, and it's unbelievably beautiful. The landscape looks good. The animations look great. The fighting animations look great. Really, everything looks great. And then when we get to the main character here, I mean, he's very interesting to say the least. It's a different kind of overall structure, but I guess it's not that different from Aleph, who also had the long hair thing. I mean, in SMT2, you got the long hair, and he's being held by the female Gabriel style angel. I mean, there definitely must be some loose connections, because I think we're bringing back some of those older angel styles as opposed to the bondage angel, which has become so popular. So it is interesting to see. I like seeing all the demons with your character together, kind of like celebrating. The transition screens are fast and quick. I mean, everything's cool. Your character can run and jump, which is very new to SMT, believe it or not, especially jumping. And it's nice to see everything on the platform. I mean, I'll miss the little 3D cube thing cursor that you take around the city. I mean, obviously it's been a staple for so long, it feels nostalgic, but this is so good. I really, really hope that this game is extremely successful, because I want Atlas to see that you don't have to only pump out Persona material. That SMT not only has a fan base, but you have so many fans in the US for Shin Megami Tensei at this point, that this can really be a growth factor. And the fact that you're releasing it all together is incredible, because that means that there's no spoilers. People aren't going to be like, oh, I already know what happens. Like, people are going to play this. Look at that. Look at how you have so many enemies on the field at once. How cool is that? When did you ever think that you would have a Shin Megami Tensei game that this is what they envisioned for Nocturne? This was the vision. Believe it or not, this is what they envisioned when they were first trying to make it on the PS2, but obviously it couldn't handle it. Now you have a newer generation platform, and this is really cool. This is really sick. I mean, I feel like this game can't let me down just from what I've seen so far, because I don't know that I expected all of this, to be honest. I feel like this is really going to be a great game. The demon models are so good and crisp and clean. It's so cool to see. I feel like this game is really going to change the outlook on Megaten as a whole. I think that this is going to give Persona a real run for its money, which it's about time. Persona has made, the Persona games are great. So, it's no knock on them outside of like the dancing stuff. But I mean, those are really great games. And SMT has always, in my opinion, kind of knocked it out of the park with difficulty and overall the fun factor of games being hard. I mean, it's got the Dark Soul. It's really the Dark Souls of JRPGs. But to be fair, SMT's been around a lot longer, so really SMT's more like, Dark Souls is more like the SMT of action RPGs. I mean, this is going to be, look at the incredible layout. Look at how big that demon is, and look at that. I mean, why you would think you could handle that? I don't know. But anyway, so this is where they're gonna end up getting smashed, obviously. Um, but it's a really cool game. Everything looks great on here. The layout is awesome. I'm really excited to play this game. I hope everyone goes out and buys this because this is like the SMT that we've been waiting for, and this is really the SMT that we deserve. I mean, this game is going to be an incredible work of art. I think the story is being held from us, and I think the story is going to be unbelievable. I think the story is going to really, really, really be in depth. I think we're gonna get a lot of lore, added on lore for Mega 10. Um, I just think this game is not only beautiful, but I think it's going to be incredible, and I'm really looking forward to playing it. And I hope all of you are too. And for now, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts about what you see in this trailer with the treehouse. Let me know what you thought about the demon designs. How about the overall graphics of this game? The level of FPS that you feel that the Switch is actually handling this at. I mean, everything looks fluid. I don't see any kind of, even with something giant like that on the field, I didn't see a real slowdown of any kind. And mind you that, after all the Nocturne stuff, there was some fear that, how's it going to handle a brand new style game like this, like Unreal 4? But obviously it's handling it very well. I think this game is going to be sick. I'm kind of stalling here so you guys can watch these guys get killed here and how quickly it is, and you can see the game over screen as well. And yes, believe it or not, thankfully, we are not in the dogged, you can revive anywhere, my God Slayer. Like, no, this is back to, nope, you die. You hope you saved because you can die at any time. And I love it because I've never been a fan of what we got with the whole. I was never. That was a couple of things I didn't like about Shin Megami Tensei 4, and especially for Apocalypse, though. How easy it was to come back. For, one chance, Charon made sense. But Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse, with you get revived everywhere except for like the final map. I mean, where is the challenge in that? This is gonna be like, nope, you didn't save for 3 hours, then guess what? You are gonna have to do it all over again. And some people might hate that, but I'm not one of those people. I think that's what brings the challenge into a game. I mean, you have to remember to save. I mean, you're playing a JRPG. You're not playing a platformer, you know. So keep that in mind. For some reason, these guys have not even tried to run away. Mind you, they're doing 2 to 4 damage when they're hitting the weakness, which I would have to imagine this demon probably has like 1,000 HP. So it seems kind of like a bad move. Yeah, that's the end. He just decides to tag it. So that's another thing, by the way, let me bring up. If your main character dies, you die. There is no more your demons keep fighting without you. You need to live. This is the game over screen. Obviously, your combo character dies and individual characters die as well, or are removed from the, go to the Yggdrasil tree. But anyway, so that's everything. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if what you guys thought about this video. And until we get another one, I'm out.